All things Randi at RandiRhodes.com.
Go for launch.
Speaking truth to power, the Randi Rhodes Show.
It was a good day, I think, for democracy. And I think it was a good day for America. Excuse me, I'm a little hoarse. Our democracy has been tested in recent years, but with their votes, the American people have spoken and proven once again that democracy is who we are. The states across the country saw a record voter turnout.
Yep.
And the heart and soul of our democracy, the voters, the poll workers, the election officials, they did their job and they fulfilled their duty. And apparently without much interference at all, without any interference, it looks like. And that's a testament, I think, to the American people.
Thank you.
While we don't know all the results yet, at least I don't know them all yet, here's what we do know. While the press and the pundits are predicting a giant red wave, it didn't happen. And I know you were somewhat miffed by my obsessive optimism, but I felt good during the whole process. I thought we were going to do fine. While any seat lost is painful, some good Democrats didn't win the last night. Democrats had a strong night. And we lost fewer seats in the House of Representatives than any Democratic president's first midterm election in the last 40 years.
That is historical. And here are the actual numbers. I mean, it is just so unbelievable. There have been 22 midterm elections since 1934, okay? 22 midterm elections since 1934. And the president's party has lost, on average, 28 House seats and 4 Senate seats each midterm election since 1934. This last night actually outran 86 years of history. Just like Biden is telling you, we don't know the final results, but the losses that we will obviously take on the Democratic side of things will be nowhere close to the historical averages. In fact, if anything, we might pick up some Senate seats. We might actually have a chance of holding on to the House of Representatives. That's crazy. That makes Joe Biden the most successful president in the history of modern history, okay, since 1934. This is unbelievable. I mean, the breadth of the Democratic success that we already know about, let alone these 3 Senate races that are just to retain seats. It's not like we're fighting, clawing our way into a seat or flipping a seat or any of those things. We're just holding on to, seats that obviously I think, well, I can't, promise anything, but I think that we're going to keep Nevada. I think that we're going to keep Arizona. And I don't think that they're going to elect Herschel Walker in a runoff. I just don't. Now, we have to retain 2 of those 3, but I think we'll get all 3. So, when you look at, the vote for Herschel Walker versus the vote for Raphael Warnock obviously has more votes. Warnock actually in any other state would have been declared the victor, the winner of the election in Georgia. But because Georgia has this 50% rule, meaning if no one gets 50%, then you have to have a runoff. We'll have a runoff because that's their state rule. And it's like I explained to you over and over again, every single state has its own election rules. Every single state runs a little mini election, which is why election deniers are so bogus. It's why they're so full of crap. It makes no sense what they're for. And by the way, I have to tell you, Georgians do have faith in their elections, else they would not have re-elected their governor, who pushed back on Donald Trump's election denial crap, and their Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger, who obviously was recorded on a phone call telling Donald Trump there was no malfeasance in Georgia. There was no election stealing in Georgia. There was nothing untoward that happened in Georgia. Those were not suitcases under a table. Those were ballot boxes. Those were legitimate ballot boxes. And they really do stop counting at a certain hour in Georgia, okay? And then they stow them and then they pull them out to, the next day. So if Georgians believed that their elections were hinky or stolen or interfered with, do you really think that they would have elected Raffensperger again or Kemp again? These men, they're Republicans. They're not my cup of tea, but they aren't for, my autonomy. They don't think I have a choice in my reproductive life. But okay, set that aside. They totally told Trump he was full of dung. He was full of duty. He was, a poo head for, suggesting that something bad happened in Georgia. Well, Georgians know that nothing bad happened there. And you know that because they reelected their governor and their secretary of state. So obviously there's going to be a runoff. And there is no question in my mind that Warnock will succeed there. I don't have a question about Mark Kelly's election either. I think Mark Kelly is fine, and I think that he will go back to the Senate. The only sort of kind of question that may be hanging out there is on Catherine Cortez Masto's reelection, but we'll see. If we hold on to two of the three, like I said, Arizona, Nevada, Georgia, which I believe, Arizona and Georgia are fine, then they don't take the Senate. Now in the House, this is key, because either if they take right now the media, and by that I mean people who have decision desks, have the Democrats winning 214 seats in the House, and the GOP possibly getting to the number 221. You need 218 to have a majority, as you know. So that would be more, right? 18, 19, 20, 21, three more than they need. However, that's with a plus or minus error rate of 7 seats. So we don't know who's going to get the House. I will tell you this. If the Republicans somehow manage to eke out the House, a majority in the House, you could kiss progress goodbye for about 2 years, okay? Because all they'll do is have investigations into Hunter Biden. All they'll do is try to impeach the Department of Homeland Security, Alejandro Mayorkas, and maybe even Joe Biden. They'll try to impeach him. I mean, this is going to be a circus. It'll be a zoo. This is like the Benghazi hearings again. That's what this will be. And it will be in lieu of progress. It will be in lieu of, and you know what's really creepy about them? They have willing partners in the Democrats to do comprehensive immigration reform. And if that's your issue, which I doubt it is because Southern Texas did not go Republican. That's just interesting to me. But if that's your issue, the border, and you take the House, I want you to understand that you had the House and the Senate and the presidency for, years with Trump, and you didn't do anything, nothing on comprehensive immigration reform. You didn't do anything to secure the border. I doubt they would do anything to secure the border if they got the majority of the House, even though they do have willing partners in the Democrats. We would love to solve that problem. You don't want to, and that's kind of the Republican position it's always been. But other than that, they're going to try and shut down the government and hold hostage cuts to Social Security and Medicare in exchange for opening the national parks. Really? This is what's in store? Really? Don't have time to listen to the live show? Want to hear more on your schedule? Go to randyrhodes.com and buy a stinking podcast.